Hey everybody, hope you're all well and welcome to another video. So in today's video we're going to be ripping the poo out of this car, the poo out of the Patrol, I'd say. Well, no, just this crappy engine. So this is an RD28. You all know, well, people that follow me all know that this engine is garbage. It's on its way out. So we're replacing it with this thing here, this LS1. So it's going to be a good, fun little build. So that big girthy piece of iron or alloy is going into this. So what we're going to do in this episode is, you probably know from the title, we are removing this RD28. So we're removing the crap and we're going to be putting in something pretty cool. Now, a lot of you know that I was going to consider an RB25. Not very torquey, but a bit of power, so that's good. I'm going to be going off-road a lot and doing a bit of towing, so I thought LS1 would be good. And it's something a bit different to what I own. I have a lot of RBs, I own heaps of RBs, and I don't want another one. And I was going to buy an SS, and I thought, stuff it. Why don't we build an SS that can go anywhere? So we'll do that. In today's video, we're actually supposed to be taking the R31 out for a drive. And unfortunately, it got completely stuck on the lawn. As you can see, the mud, it's disgusting. I can't get it off the lawn. So last week we made a video with the 32. This week was supposed to be a 31. And then next week was supposed to be the 180. And it's supposed to be RX7, whatever. But I thought, today, stuff it, go away. I thought today, stuff it, we'll just take this engine out. Or we'll try it, we'll get it ready to take it out. So hopefully it's ready by the weekend, and then when the weekend comes around, the boys can come out and help me smash it. So let's get into it. Now, as you can't tell, I am bloody excited to get rid of this motor. So first of all, we're gonna start pulling bit by bit. So you probably saw in the last episode when we did the cylinder head, we started on the intake side and worked our way to the exhaust side. So first of all, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the radiator out, make everything a bit easier for us, take all the turbo piping off, and then we're going to start doing the injector side of things. Just all the wiring loom stuff. The injectors are going to stay in, obviously. All the vacuum lines up the back, the exhaust, engine mounts, and fingers crossed, that's it. I've taken this engine out before when we did the initial rebuild about 8 months ago, so sort of know what I'm doing. So let's get into it. Enough waffling on. Oh, and a quick disclaimer, yes, I did start taking it all apart. The only thing I took off was the intercooler, the timing cover, and the fan, and all that down here, the shroud. So, yeah, not really much else to do, so just all the big stuff, so let's get into it. Okay, guys, so before we get right into it, just took the airbox lid off, some piping, the coolant expansion tank, and the overflow tank, and the radiator, which is, there it is, a radiator. So just get all the unnecessary stuff out the way. Now we'll start working on the cold side, and I'll actually film this, time lapse that side, and then hopefully get it to a point where it's just ready to pull out. Okay, so another thing I did just off camera was just take the bull bar off. Surprisingly, I've never taken this bull bar off before, so I did not know how light that is. I was ready to use 10 men to take that off, because I know some of the steel bars are really heavy, but that came off really easy. So instead of that, I got it off by myself, bit of WD-40 because the bolt sort of stays in there. So it just gives us a little bit more access when we have the engine crane to go forward. Because I remember last time with the engine crane, we took the RD out first. Because it was bumped there, I had to sort of stretch the stretch the chain onto over there and then sort of pull it out in a weird angle. And because I did that, it sort of, you can see right here, see it sort of pulled out the radiator support because the balancer got stuck. So I was going to knock that in. All right, let's start filming shit, get into it. So I didn't want to really film some of the boring stuff, guys. So it's not really going to be in-depth pulling this engine out, but I want the LS part to be in-depth, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so let's get this out. I'm excited. Okay guys, so you just saw in that time lapse we got most of the wiring unplugged and all this kind of crap off, and I just got to the starter bolt back there, not starter bolt, sorry, the starter wire. So the positive wire is off and the earth. I just cracked the power steering down there bolt, the banjo bolt, so that's just here. So that's just draining out the bottom there. So I think next thing I'm going to do is go under the car, do the dump, and start doing underneath the bell housing bolts and the engine mounts, and then after that, the top two engine mounts I'm gonna have to get to from the back here, just with a spanner, 14mm spanner, and that's how I got it out the first time. So another way is just to jack the gearbox up right up into the tunnel, and then crack those two top bell housing bolts. So we'll get to the bottom and start doing stuff there. Alright guys, so I initially said I was going to go underneath, but I'm running out of daylight and I'm going to pick this up tomorrow. So we'll catch up with you tomorrow and start doing everything underneath. So I know you can't wait to see this engine out, and I can't either. So we'll get to that tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Alright guys, so it's about 1 week later, as I have been on holidays, so I thought we'd give it a break for a week, and now I'm back at it. It's been a bit wet, as you can see. If you watched my R32 video that I put out last week, I broke my jack and I've got a new one, thank God. So now it'll be easy, because when I take the engine out of the Patrol, which is over here, I've got to jack it up and take one wheel off just to get the sump to clear with the engine crane. So yeah, now that helps so much, and so I can jack the gearbox up just a little bit, get to those 2 bell housing bolts at the back. So let's do that now. So what I'm going to do is get the engine ready to come out with taking those 2 bell housing bolts out the back and the 2 starter bolts here. And then we'll try to get all those bell housing bolts free, crack the engine mount one over there, and just got to do this one here, which isn't too bad. I left them sort of loose when I put the motor back in, because they are a pain in the ass to get to. Other than that, let's get into taking this motor out, or apart, and get ready to come out. So I'm excited. These engines are really easy to work on, thank God. Being a Patrol motor, they mostly are pretty easy to work on. A lot of room compared to like a Hilux or something. So everything on the power steering side is disconnected. Everything on the alternator side is disconnected. Aircon is all disconnected, so this whole front section is completely free. All the wiring at the back is completely free. Starter wiring, all that's free. And there's nothing really else on the side. Oh, actually, I just remembered now, we have to undo 3 little bolts on that, I think 15mm bolts on that dump pipe down there. And then she's ready to come out, so let's get into it. There's the engine mount nuts. I'll take you guys underneath and show you what we're going to be hitting next for all your RD owners that want to take this engine out. All right, you can see from my oil leak here, this is our bell housing bolts. So we got one here, the other one's up here. We got the other starter motor bolt up there, right there. And I'm just gonna take these little inspection panels off. I think they're called ears. To do that, and you can see our bell not our bell housing, our dump pipe bolts just at the tip of my finger is up there. And for some reason, I think one of the nuts have wound off, so there's only 2. So we'll hit them, and then we should be able to try and get this engine out now. So let's do that. Okay guys, so mostly all the engine bolts are undone. By engine bolts, I mean all the bell housing bolts. I actually did the gearbox cross member bolts as well, just to give us a little bit of wiggling room. My girlfriend came and helped me take the bonnet off. Whoops. Take the bonnet off, so that's all done. It's more room at the back. Got to those 2 bell housing bolts. For all your RD owners, the best way to get to those back bell housing bolts, you haven't got extension, just get a 14mm spanner and you'll be able to get to them from there. Hook another spanner over the top and just crack them. They'll come out. Engine mount down there is out. All those back bolts are completely out. Well, I've got the chain hooked on the top here, so I think we're ready to come out. I'm just going to go double check over all these bell housing bolts and make sure we haven't missed any. And then, yeah, I'll do a time lapse of the crane on there and yeah, we'll yank it out. Fingers crossed it all goes to plan. So I've taken this wheel off so we can get the car nice and low. And my engine crane has this thing where it's, I don't know, it's broken. So I think it's leaking about here, so I'm not too sure, but we'll find out what's going on. Hopefully I can get the engine crane up nice and high, because what happens is it jacks the engine up to a certain point, it just stops jacking. So I've let the car all the way down. So, all right, we're ready to go. Hopefully this engine comes off nice and easy, separates from the trans, and once we get it up over these engine mounts, bang, so I'll time lapse that. This is so frustrating, guys. This is how high I get the engine out, and the engine crane just stops jacking. I keep bleeding it, and yeah, this is as high as it goes. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys, from now on, but we'll figure something out. Alright guys, the engine is out, so here's the beast. Also another thing, I had a brand new clutch and flywheel and everything on it too, so I am going to be parting this engine out. So if anyone is interested, message me on my Instagram if you want anything off it. Also I'm selling the gearbox off it as well. It's all mint. Motor has a few goodies on it, so if you want the diesel pump or something off it, or if you want the injectors, if you want alternator, something good, everything's good on it. So apart from the cylinder head, you take it all. But here's the car. So as you can see, of course, I dropped one side just to make it easier. The engine crane, I don't know what was wrong with it. I purged the system a couple of times and managed to get it to work. And I was actually pretty surprised it actually worked, and we got it to come out. And it seems to be all good now. It's doing its thing. So here's the truck. Engine bay is absolutely filthy. So I think while I'm here, I think what we should do is we should give it a nice pressure wash, degrease it all and pressure wash it. So we'll do all that and get it looking nice and schmick, I reckon. But yeah, it just helps a lot just to lower the front all the way down the ground. That disc is pretty much touching, but the jack is sitting under the diff, and that just gets enough clearance just to get the sump, because it's got a very deep sump. Very deep. So you don't want to click the radiator support on the way out and damage it. And like I said, the first time I sort of did that, so I'm going to knock that in with a rubber mallet while I'm here. Might take the bottom half of the airbox out as well and give it a nice clean. I'm just going to degrease it and clean it. We'll take the gearbox out another day. It's all unbolted, so it's all moving around. I'm just going to take the cross member off and then tail shaft and then drop it down, take the shifter out. But yeah, good progress, good progress. So I'm actually going to start getting into this LS soon as well. I'm going to order some spark plugs for it, because we are missing one. I got one there. We're missing one on this side, one on the other side, but these ones need to come out. Also exhaust studs, we need to get some exhaust studs for it. All new gaskets, new drive belt, water pump, oil pump, all the goodies that you need just to make these engines a bit more longer lasting. I'll whack the intake manifold off and change all the intake gaskets, just some good peace of mind. Maybe even take the injectors out, change all the injector seals. So we want this to be 100%. Big thing on these things also is rear main, so we'll change the rear main on it. But yeah, hopefully this engine treats us well. So I think now we'll jack it up, put the other tyre back on, and give the engine bay a nice pressure wash and clean it up a bit. Alrighty guys, so we smashed this engine bay with a little bit of TLC. It's still a bit dirty, so I got to go over it with a bit more degreaser, but it's looking so much better than it was. I can actually see some white. But yeah, over time we'll just keep hitting it over and over again, get all the grime. Like on the diff there's just oil and grime and stuff, so I have to scrub all that off, and I want this thing to look pretty presentable. Here's the old beast behind me. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this stuff is up for grabs. So I'll be selling it. I'm in Melbourne, of course, so I'm not going to be posting anything. Pretty heavy shit, so yeah, DM me on my Instagram if you want anything from it, and yeah, just let me know. Even the gearbox as well, tail shaft, whatever. Oh, you have no idea how exhausted I am, but I'm so excited that this engine is finally out. It's out. And it looks so small, but this thing weighs so much. And it probably weighs, I think it weighs more than the LS. This is about 250 kilos, I think, in the engine, and 250 kilos in the gearbox. So that's only half a ton just in running gear. Well, it is half a ton in running gear. So gearbox shouldn't be too hard to come out. I'll just put an engine crane inside the cabin, one that works this time, and then we'll hold the box up with a strap and just lower it down. Take a shifter out, cross member, tail shaft, all that rubbish. You realize how much bigger the car looks with no front bar and well, no motor in it, so the front end's raised up heaps now, but looks huge. In camera probably doesn't do it justice. It looks massive, and it's only on a 2-inch lift, so. But the back's 3-inch, so it's sort of, I don't know, it looks like it's sort of even now. Okay guys, so we are finished today with what I want to do, and I'm pretty happy we got all that done. So in a future episode, we're probably going to wait until we get the conversion kit, and then we'll cut the mounts off and do that. In the meantime, I'll probably do some videos on freshening up the LS, and also do some videos, probably removing the gearbox and putting a TB42 gearbox. I'll show you how to put a TB42 or 45 gearbox into a RD28 GU. I'm pretty sure it bolts straight in and just got to use tail shaft or whatever. So yeah, other than that, yeah, we're pretty much on track. I'm excited for the conversion. I'm really excited to actually get a move on, because I want to get this out of the way, and then we can finish this beautiful girl behind me. But don't worry guys, I'm still going to be doing RX-7 videos. In the meantime, I'm just not going to go all out on it straight away. So this is being my daily. I'm going to focus on this first, and then once this is done, we'll get some cool footage out in the bush with this thing and probably do some touring in it. Okay guys, so I really hope you enjoyed this video on the Patrol build, and stick around if you want to watch the LS conversion build. I'm very excited for that one. I hope you all are as well. And if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you want to subscribe if you will, that will mean the world to me, and leave a comment. And if you want to stick around for LS build and ask questions, just hit me up and I'll let you know. And if anyone is LS guru out there with patrols, love to hear from you. So I'll see you all in the next video on my adventures. So see you later.